The episode begins with a brutal scene where Jogo is getting overwhelmed by Sukuna, who completely dominates the fight. Jogo knew Sukuna was strong, but the difference in their power is far more than he expected. Meanwhile, Megumi faces off against Toji, who moves swiftly and skillfully without using any cursed energy. This unsettles Megumi, who knows he has to focus on victory. He uses his escape rabbit's technique to surround Toji, but Toji's instincts are too sharp, and he quickly closes in on Megumi. Megumi barely dodges the attack, realizing Toji is fighting purely on instinct. Megumi knows he can't use his domain expansion again, and must end the fight quickly. He lures Toji into a narrow alley where Toji has limited space to move. He tries to trap him, but Toji dodges and counters instantly. Megumi becomes frustrated as his plans keep failing. When he summons one of his Shikigami, Toji has a flashback of selling his own son, who he now realizes is Megumi. Shocked, Toji stabs himself in the head, unwilling to harm his son. Megumi is injured and tries to leave, but Haruta attacks him from behind. Elsewhere, Panda and Kusakabe search for Gojo, but Kusakabe secretly fears going near him. They get surrounded by sorcerers who demand their surrender. Just then, a massive explosion from Sukuna and Jogo's battle shakes the area. Jogo uses powerful lava attacks, but Sukuna remains unharmed. The episode ends with Sukuna preparing a fire attack, revealing yet another terrifying ability. The episode begins with a throwback to Yuji's past, not exactly childhood, but a time when his grandfather was alive and advised him to use his strength to protect others. Then we cut to Megumi, badly injured after Haruta's sneak attack. Haruta mocks him, impressed that Megumi is still keeping distance despite his condition. As Megumi collapses, background explosions signal Sukuna and Jogo's ongoing battle. In his mind, Megumi revisits how the Ten Shadows technique works. How a Shikigami must be tamed to follow commands, and how exercising one is nearly impossible unless inherited. We then see a flashback of Gojo explaining to Megumi the historic clash between the Gojo and Zenin clans, where the heads of both families, one with Limitless and 6 eyes, the other with 10 shadows, killed each other. Megumi realizes there's one Shikigami in 10 Shadows history that no one has ever tamed. As he prepares to summon it, Haruta panics, but Megumi goes ahead and summons the powerful divine General Maharaga. It's an uncontrollable Shikigami, pulling Haruta into an exorcism ritual. Maharaga appears with a fearsome design, and Haruta is terrified. Meanwhile, Sukuna senses this powerful presence and rushes to the scene, saving Megumi and healing him. To end the ritual, Sukuna himself must fight Maharaga. A fierce battle follows. Sukuna realizes Maharaga adapts to any attack, so he keeps switching techniques and finally uses his flaming arrow to destroy it. He then drops Megumi at Shoko's camp for healing. Later, Sukuna returns control to Yuji, who wakes up, remembers everything, and breaks down in guilt. The episode begins with Nanami walking through the hallway of the station, his body half-burned and clearly in critical condition. At the same time, we see a visual of him imagining a peaceful beach where he once wished to retire and enjoy life. Reading books? But instead, he's stuck exorcising cursed spirits, exhausted and broken. Despite this, he's still thinking about Fushiguro, Maki, and Naobato, and what their condition might be. As he reaches the station, he sees a group of transfigured humans and begins eliminating them, all while mentally switching between reality and his dream of the beach. Just then, Mahito arrives and touches Nanami's back. Nanami realizes it's Mahito and tells him, "So you're here?" Mahito smirks and asks if he has any last words. Meanwhile, Yuji is shown, still consumed with guilt and depression, after the destruction caused by Sukuna using his body. He recalls all the expectations from his grandfather, Gojo, his teachers, and friends, blaming himself for everything. He runs down the corridor, he hears fighting and rushes toward the scene. He arrives just in time to see Mahito's hand on Nanami's back. Nanami, in his final moments, remembers Haibara, his fallen comrade. He sees Haibara pointing to the right where Yuji is standing. He tells Yuji, "I leave the rest to you," before Mahito destroys his upper body. Enraged, Yuji charges at Mahito, and the two begin an intense fight. Mahito tries to manipulate Yuji's emotions, pushing his limits even further as their brutal battle escalates. The episode begins outside the curtain as Nobara rushes back in after hearing about Nanami and Eri. Ikari tries to stop her, but Nobara can't sit still while everyone is fighting. As she enters, she sees the aftermath of destruction caused by Sukuna's domain. Meanwhile, Yuji is still fighting Mahito, who tries to manipulate him using innocent people. Mahito uses one to bait Yuji, then suddenly appears behind him. Cut to Nobara, who is now fighting Mahito's clone using her nails and hairpins. She smartly avoids his hands, and Mahito realizes Nanami must have told her about his technique. This version of Mahito is only a clone. He can change his shape, create weapons, but not control transfigured humans or manipulate souls. Despite that, the clone manages to injure Nobara slightly. She lays traps and lands a solid resonance attack using her nail, which affects the real Mahito too. Yuji, now battered, charges back into battle. Nobara confirms to Mahito that she figured out his clone limits and used it to damage the real body. Inspired by Nobara's actions, Yuji regains strength and continues attacking Mahito. Nobara considers retreating but chooses to stay and fight. As Mahito splits into multiple parts to confuse Yuji, they switch places without Yuji realizing. Fortunately, the real Mahito appears in front of Nobara and touches her face, using idol transfiguration. Nobara collapses. She recalls her childhood memories with Saori and Fumi. In the present, she tells Yuji to pass along that she lived a good life. Moments later, she dies, leaving Yuji shattered. The episode begins with Yuji standing in shock as Nobara's blood splashes onto him, reminding him of a past scene where she accidentally spilled black coffee on Gojo's white shirt. It was Gojo's birthday, and the shirt was expensive, costing over 1 million yen. Despite trying to clean it, they failed miserably. Gojo arrives just in time to catch them hiding the stained shirt in Megumi's coat. Cut back to the present. Nobara's eye is out, and Yuji is frozen, devastated by her state. Suddenly, Mahito arrives and viciously attacks Yuji using Black Flash, taunting him that this isn't some fairy tale where heroes always save the day. He tells Yuji that they are alike. Just as Mahito kills without emotion, Yuji tries to save without hesitation. As Yuji crumbles, Todo makes a dramatic entrance with his theme playing. Flashback shows Todo and Mei Mei arriving at Shibuya. Tells Todo that Nobara's condition is critical and chances are slim. Todo tries motivating Yuji, who's emotionally crushed after everything Nanami's death, Sukuna's rampage, Nobara's state. Mahito prepares to finish Yuji, but Todo kicks him hard using Boogie Woogie, encourages Yuji, saying they must move forward for their fallen comrades. Mei Mei uses her curse technique to stop Yuji's bleeding, though it's only temporary. She also does the same for Nobara, hinting there's still a tiny chance of survival. The battle resumes with Todo using Boogie Woogie smartly to confuse Mahito. Mahito struggles against their coordination but manages to unleash a soul manipulation curse. As Mahito grows stronger, Yuji and Todo team up again. Yuji reaffirms his resolve, unleashing Black Flash once more. The episode ends as Mahito, now serious, tightens the space with soul multiplicity, preventing movement and setting up a final confrontation.